Howdy, I'm Clint Walker and you're watching GVTV News.
Thanks, Clint, and I'm Randy Hansen. In World News headlines today, dozens killed, wounded in Iraq bombings, and Manning defense rests case in pretrial hearing, and U.S. to admit fault in killing of Pakistani soldiers. And Syrian toll mounts ahead of Arab League observers' arrival, and House GOP faces call to back down on payroll tax. And EPA enacts new pollution standards for power plants. And Bank of America settles countrywide bias case with $335 million fine. And U.S. delays North Korea food aid despite warnings of deaths. And lawmakers call for probe in CIA NYPD ties. And 8 soldiers charged following suicide of hazing victims. And female naval couple share landmark first kiss. But before these stories, GVTV News would like to thank one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. In today's first world news story, dozens of people have been killed and many more wounded in a series of bombings in the Iraqi capital of Baghdad. Death toll so far stands at 63, with another 185 injured. Attacks come as Iraq grapples with the aftermath of the U.S. military withdrawal and heightened sectarian tensions and unrest warranted for Iraqi Vice President and leading Sunni political leader Tariq al-Hashimi. At a news conference on Wednesday, he said that perhaps some people say that the number of U.S. Embassy staff is big. It's 2,000 to 3,000 employees. Part of this number represents Iraqi desire. For example, we asked them to provide us with agriculture experience, therefore we will need agricultural experts. We asked them to provide us industrial expertise, so we will need industrial experts. It is a demand that will be a reason to increase or decrease the number of staff that will serve in the U.S. Embassy, but there will be no forces. Defense attorney for alleged Army whistleblower Bradley Manning rested their case on Wednesday after calling 2 witnesses. Manning is in a pretrial hearing to determine whether he's to face a court-martial for alleged leaking classified video and diplomatic cables to WikiLeaks. Both defense witnesses were military comrades who testified about Manning's alleged erratic behavior and lax security environment in the Baghdad computer system he used. Closing arguments are expected to begin yesterday, after which the presiding officer will have 3 weeks to render a decision. The U.S. is poised to admit significant responsibility for attack on Pakistan-Afghanistan border last month left 24 Pakistani soldiers dead. Military investigation found U.S. and Afghan commandos incorrectly determined there were no Pakistani forces in the area before the airstrike. U.S. officials then provided inaccurate data to the Pakistani military representative and missed an opportunity to stop the fighting. Pakistan closed its border after the attack, shutting off a supply line to troops in Afghanistan. And Syrian human rights activists say forces loyal to the embattled President Bashar al-Assad have killed at least 160 people in the last 3 days. The toll would mark one of the deadliest in the nation's 9-month-old uprising. Killing comes as Arab League observers are scheduled to visit Syria for the first time. Activists worried the Assad regime may be attempting to wipe out pockets of unrest before the monitors arrive. And House Republicans are under increased pressure to drop their opposition in a bipartisan Senate measure that would extend the payroll tax cut set to expire to year's end. Speaker John Boehner of the Republicans have insisted on linking the tax cut to a number of unrelated proposals, including the Keystone XL pipeline from Canada. In an editorial, the right-wing journalist urged Republicans to drop their stance, calling it a fiasco. At the White House, Press Secretary Jay Carney said the Senate proposal remains the only solution on the table. And he said the president made clear in his call to Speaker Boehner earlier yesterday, as I made clear in the readout, that the action that must be taken is the House needs to take up the Senate bill. That is supported by the overwhelming percentage of Republicans and Democrats in the Senate and passed on to make sure that the taxes don't go up. Short-term bipartisan compromise passed by almost the entire Senate is the only option to ensure the middle-class families will not be hit with a tax hike in 10 days. It gives both sides time to work out a full-year resolution. I think now they're working on a 2-month extension. Environmental Protection Agency has released a first national standard to cut emissions of mercury and toxic air pollutants from power plants. Agency says the new standards will prevent as many as 11,000 premature deaths, 4,700 heart attacks each year, as well as preventing 130,000 cases of childhood asthma symptoms. Power plants are the leading source of arsenic and cyanide pollution and are responsible for half the mercury emissions in the United States. In a statement, the group Earth Justice has filed a lawsuit against the Bush administration that led in the new standard, said, "We're celebrating today after a long fight for cleaner air." Bank of America has agreed to pay $335 million settlement over allegations its countrywide financial division discriminated against black and Hispanic borrowers. Justice Department says the settlement is the largest of its kind in history. Investigators found Countrywide charged higher rates to more than 200,000 people of color compared to white borrowers with similar credit. It also found Countrywide directed more than 10,000 minorities towards more expensive subprime mortgages while giving white borrowers with similar credit regular loans. The Obama administration is facing urgent pleas to reverse a decision to delay food aid to North Korea in the aftermath of the death of Kim Jong-il. The U.S. had reportedly been poised to deliver aid before Kim Jong-il's death was announced, but now says it will need more time to assess the new regime. Humanitarian groups warn many North Koreans are likely to die of malnutrition in the coming months if the nation does not receive an increased amount of aid. Lack of food has been a central issue for North Koreans since the mid-90s, when famine struck the region, killing hundreds of thousands. Reports suggest the U.S. could deliver as much as 240,000 tons of aid. Over 24 members of Congress are calling for an investigation into the ties between the Central Intelligence Agency and the New York Police Department. Lawmakers want the Department of Justice and House Judiciary Committee to look at how and why the CIA has been involved in the department's monitoring the Muslim communities. Over the summer, the Associated Press revealed a number of disclosures about the NYPD, including its incorporation of a senior CIA official into its ranks, its infiltration and mapping of ethnic communities in New York City and surrounding areas, and its surveillance of numerous institutions, including mosques and universities. And the Army has announced 8 soldiers are being charged in the death of an Army private who apparently took his own life in Afghanistan earlier this year. 19-year-old Danny Chen was found dead in apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head in October. Chen's family said he had been subjected to race-based hazing, with soldiers forcing him out of bed, throwing rocks at him, calling him ethnic slurs, and forcing him to do push-ups with his mouth full of water. 8 soldiers had been charged with crimes ranging from dereliction of duty to manslaughter. In a related case, a group of Marines were recently court-martialed following the suicide of Lance Corporal Harry Liu, an Asian-American soldier who military prosecutors say also killed himself after being hazed. The 2 naval officers who have become the first same-sex couple to share the Navy's traditional first kiss in the front of cheering crowds at the dock of Virginia Beach on Wednesday. Petty Officer Second Class Marisa Gaeta kissed her girlfriend of 2 years, Petty Officer Third Class Sitlatlik Snell. This is after they repealed the Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And that's it for World News Today. Now another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's us, GVTV News, and Merry Christmas.
something happening here. But what it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware.
That's right, it's time for the police blotter, and pictures in the blotter not from these actual events, but used for visual aid only. Grass Valley Police Department on Tuesday. 9:13 a.m. a caller from 400 block of East Main Street reported someone hit a light pole and sheared it off, exposing the wires. At 9:17 a.m. a caller from 2000 block of Ridge Road reported attempted burglary with someone breaking a window. 9:34 a.m. a caller from 200 block of Sutton Way reported the theft of checks. And 10:35 a.m. a caller from 400 block of Maryland Drive reported possible road rage. And 1:02 p.m. a caller from 100 block of West Main Street reported a shoplifter, a juvenile, was cited and released. And at 3:46 p.m. a caller from Nevada City Highway reported 3 men smoking marijuana and drinking. And 4:44 p.m. a woman from 100 block of Dorsey Drive reported her cell phone had been stolen. And at 4:48 p.m. a caller from Idaho Maryland Road reported a truck dumping illegally into the creek. And 5:51 p.m. a caller from Bennett Street and Iron Horse Place reported a man assaulted a man. The victim was uncooperative. And 6:31 p.m. a caller from 100 block of Dorsey Drive reported a physical fight. It was found to have been a verbal argument over hanging a picture on a wall. It's still crooked. 8:09 p.m. a caller from Lytton Trail reported a suspicious man who could not be located. And 9:20 p.m. a man from 200 block of South Church Street reported a girlfriend assaulted him. The situation was mediated. And Wednesday, 1:09 a.m. a man from 300 block of Sutton Way reported invisible people were stealing his knickknacks. Nevada County Sheriff's Office on Tuesday. 8:09 a.m. a caller from Brittany Springs Road reported vandalism and a theft. At 8:10 a.m. a caller from 15,000 block of Woodland Loop reported burglary to a residence with a PlayStation and a television taken. At 8:28 a.m. a caller from Rough and Ready Highway reported accidentally drinking a cup of bleach. At 9:25 a.m. a caller from Quaker Hill Crossroad reported vandalism to construction equipment with several walls tagged. At 9:38 a.m. a caller from 11,000 block of Thornycraft Way reported mail theft. At 9:46 a.m. a caller from Mirror Lake Road reported theft of tools that were locked in a bedroom overnight. And 10:10 a.m. a caller from Banner Quaker Hill and Quaker Hill Crossroads reported stop signs had been turned around and tagged. 10:26 a.m. a caller from 10,000 block of Harvest Way reported theft of $15,000 from bank accounts. And 10:44 a.m. a caller from 10,000 block of Old Pond Lane reported check fraud. And 10:46 a.m. a caller from Clover Valley Road reported a residential burglary. House had been used to cultivate marijuana and residents had been abandoned. At 4:24 p.m. a caller from Charles and Loma Rica Drives reported illegal dumping. And 4:53 p.m. a caller from 12,000 block of Alta Sierra Drive reported identity theft. And 5:28 p.m. a caller from 14,000 block of Rattlesnake Road reported his residence had been broken into 3 weeks ago and firearms were taken. And 6:06 p.m. a caller from Alexandria Way reported a person driving back and forth and honking a horn. At 10:54 p.m. a caller from 16,000 block of Country Wood Lane reported being beaten up. A man was arrested on suspicion of spousal abuse. At 11:21 p.m. a caller from Highway 49 and Colby Road reported a man in a ditch rocking back and forth. He was arrested on suspicion of being drunk in public. And Nevada City Police Department on Tuesday, 12:58 p.m. a caller from 200 block of Church Street reported theft of a cell phone. And 6:09 p.m. a man was arrested at the jail on suspicion of unauthorized communication with a prisoner. And that's it for the blotter today. Now another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News.
Soundcheck Music Center, the Rock and Roll Connection. We have guitars, amps, drum equipment, sound accessories, lessons, and repairs. We are located at 671 Maltman Drive, Grass Valley. 530-272-7236, open 7 days a week.
In today's local news headlines, bomb squad detonates suspicious-looking can. And CHP explains choice for a new Grass Valley home. And Telestream bought by Tama Bravo. Acquisition could mean more county jobs. Nevada County Superior Court Judge Julie McManus files for retirement. And Bank of America draws ire nationally and locally. In a story written by Liz Keller of the Union, Placer County Bomb Squad was called to Grass Valley to detonate a possible explosive device after the tape-wrapped soda can was found in the parking lot outside of Staples in the Glenbrook Basin. Passerby called Grass Valley Police at about 9:45 a.m. Wednesday after noticing the device, said Captain Rex Marks. The 12-ounce can was completely covered in black electrical tape and had makeshift objects sticking out of the top. Could have been a fuse, Marks said. We alerted our partners in Placer County and they responded as a precaution. They have a trained bomb squad and are on call to us as first responders. Grass Valley police officers secured the parking lot and established a safe perimeter until the bomb squad arrived. They investigated and determined it was a suspicious nature, he said. They detonated it. They felt it was at least worth further investigation. It's late of Wednesday afternoon, Placer County had not finished its investigation, Marks added. And in a story by Matthew Renda of the Union, California Highway Patrol is excited to get started on the construction of the new home for its staff, but some residents are questioning the wisdom behind its site selection following the Union's story this week, detailing CHP's intent to pursue the lease-to-own option for the brand-new 16,800-square-foot facility off McCourtney Road. Readers asked multiple questions on other potential options the agency could have pursued. Most prominent suggestion was repurposing the vacant Weaver Truck Auto site on Idaho-Maryland Road to suit the agency's need. Why couldn't CHP look at the Auto Weaver and Truck site, asked Barry Bringhoff. The location would be good and the facility should meet their needs without much modification. CHP Assistant Chief of Administrative Services, Eric Knutson, said refurbishing Weaver site is not possible. However, as CHP's facility must meet seismic regulations, the facility must be able to withstand an 8.0 magnitude earthquake. Further said, it is a formal site selection process where the agency advertises intent to pursue a new facility at a new property and landowners then respond to the advertisement. Availability of the site was not brought up by the owners, Newton said. Readers had to ask, well, they were talking about the other site, specifically during the Nevada County Fair each August. There's a lot of things going on out there. Knudsen said the agency was aware of the traffic concerns. We considered the location as an advantage due to the fairgrounds being state property. The area commander will be able to be more proactive in the planning of fair operations concerning traffic operations. Finally, some readers expressed concern that the $15 million facility was being constructed in a time of fiscal constraints by the state. Knudsen said 3rd and F Street LP, the Sacramento developer, will build and own the facility while CHP will lease the building initially with an option to buy at a later date. Method allows the agency to leverage a down economy in terms of construction costs while keeping the property on the tax rolls. Also, if infrastructure problems occur at the property, the developer will bear the responsibility for the repairs. It allows us to test drive the facility, Knudsen said. Also, CHP does not derive revenue from California's general fund, but instead crafts their budget for a portion of registration fees siphoned off the fees levied on new vehicles by the Department of Motor Vehicles. And in a story by Christopher Rosacker of the Union private equity investment firm Toma Bravo LLC announced Wednesday it would be entered into an agreement to acquire Telestream Inc., a Nevada City-based provider of high-tech video systems in one of the area's most prominent tech businesses. Purchase will represent Toma Bravo's first foray into digital media, and Telestream CEO Dan Castles, but it is the second such investment firm acquisition of a prominent Nevada County video tech business within the last year, as Grass Valley Group was acquired by Francisco Partners at the end of 2010. Lacking resources wasn't a factor in Toma Bravo's acquisition, said Castles, pointing to a steady growth in 2001, 3 self-financed acquisitions in the last 5 years, and 30% growth in 2011 as evidence of the company's strength. But Toma Bravo's resources, Telestream will be substantial capital backing to accelerate future growth. That expects operational expansion will not only keep Telestream's headquarters in Nevada City, but he anticipates that more Nevada County jobs. Telestream also employs nearly 150 people, with 50 more in offices in Virginia, Sweden, and Germany. Telestream spokesperson Janet Swift said the company will continue to operate an independent entity and existing management teams continuing with their current roles. Toma Bravo has offices in San Francisco and Chicago. Toma Bravo is excited to be a partner of Telestream's existing management team to continue to expand the company's market leadership position. We look forward to building on the company's impressive reputation for product innovation, strategic acquisitions, and world-class customer service. Transaction is expected to close in early January 2012. Price of the deal was not disclosed, Castle said, as both companies are privately held. Vendors like Telestream have been helping to fuel the growth of digital video marketing by providing solutions that help media companies meet the challenges of scalability and economically creating and delivering the mass volumes of content demanded by the multi-screen environment. The global director of digital media at the business research firm Frost & Sullivan noted in a news release that Castles founded Telestream in 1998 with Chief Technical Officer Sean Carnahan and Engineering Vice President Steve Tilley. The company acquired video compression specialist Popwire in 2006, live webcasting and screencaster provider Vera Software Ltd. in 2008, and AnyStream in 2010, I think it was. 2 years before starting Telestream, Castles was president of Grass Valley Group, Western Nevada County manufacturing pioneer of video switching equipment and revolutionized television. Founder in 1959 and Stanford University graduate engineer Dr. Donald Hare, Grass Valley Group was responsible for the score of offshoot video technology companies. At least 16 operated Western Nevada County that can trace their roots to Grass Valley's group, now renamed simply Grass Valley. It's more than 50 years, and the spin-offs from Grass Valley Group either moved out of the area or were acquired by firms all over the world. The video ecosystem, or whatever, continues to grow and expand as customers require increasing complex tools to manage their end-to-end video workflows, said Thomas Bravo's vice president. And Telestream is well positioned as a strong platform for increased investments in the industry. For more information, you can go to telestream.net or tomobravo.com. Nevada County Superior Court Judge Julie McManus filed for disability retirement with the Commission of Judicial Performance on December 15, 2011. McManus was appointed to Nevada County Superior Court in December 2005. She ran unopposed in June 2008. Her term expires in 2014. McManus has been on medical leave since March 2011. Was subsequently found to have sustained a traumatic brain injury in a fall. McManus will require further treatment, the duration of which is unknown at this time. Although McManus hoped that she would be able to return to work, her knowledge that her medical leave of absence has created difficulty for the court. She felt it was in the best interest of the citizens and taxpayers in Nevada County to retire so the court may proceed with steps necessary to fill her position. The court acknowledges Judge McManus's commitment to the children and families in Nevada County. Prior to the appointment to the bench, she was deputy district attorney for 15 years, handling cases involving child sexual and physical abuse and child homicide. Additionally, she was deputy city council for 5 years, representing Child Protective Services. Her dedication and exemplary work ethic are a small part of the efforts to serve the citizens in Nevada County. We hope she gets better. In our last story, written by Matthew Renda of the Union, and national news broke about Bank of America agreement to pay $335 million to resolve discrimination allegations. Occupy Nevada County staged a demonstration in front of the Nevada City branch to express their dislike of the bank's practices at the local level. Some of the protesters stood in front of the bank and chanted, "Hey, hey, ho, ho, Bank of America has got to go." And the union detailed how the Bank of America took the home of Lou Conter, a 91-year-old war hero. "I'm concerned about people losing their houses," said Sharon Delgado. "I'm frustrated that Mr. Conter, a veteran, could lose his house like that." When asked why the protesters centered on Bank of America, Larry Starn provided a litany of reasons. They are part of the bailout. They refused to lend money right away after they received a lot of government money. And they refused to work with people on the brink of foreclosure. Yep, kind of sounds like them. Starn said he heard numerous stories of how the bank will work with lenders to mitigate payments or strategically default and then foreclose upon them suddenly. Conter, who was since moved into a new home, said his principal frustration is that he would constantly get passed around to different departments where he would receive assurances his situation could be worked out before he received an abrupt notification of foreclosure. "It's a criminal enterprise as far as I'm concerned," Starn said. "Bank of America is leaving Nevada City, and I say good riddance." Associated Press reported Wednesday that Bank of America filed a $335 million lawsuit with the U.S. Department of Justice for engaging in pattern of discrimination against qualified African American and Hispanic borrowers in home loans. The DOJ said it was the largest settlement in history over the residential fair lending practices. According to DOJ's complaint, Countrywide charged more than 200,000 African American and Hispanic borrowers higher fees and interest rates than non-Hispanic white borrowers with a similar credit profile. Complaint states that these borrowers were charged a higher fee and rates because of their race and national origin rather than any other objective criteria. The institution should make judgments based on applicants' creditworthiness, not on the color of their skin, said Attorney General Eric Holder, the thief. The two-day settlement, the federal government will ensure that more than 200,000 African Americans and Hispanic borrowers who are discriminated against by Countrywide will be entitled to compensation. Dan Fromm, a Bank of America spokesperson, said the statement of the bank does not practice lending based on race. We discontinue Countrywide products and practices and are not in keeping with our commitment, and we continue to resolve and put behind us the remaining Countrywide issues. That's it today. Thanks for watching, and like we said before, have a Merry Christmas and, well, Happy New Year, but we aren't there yet. We got a whole nother week of news before that. Talk to you tomorrow. Christopher's Old World Deli and Catering Company has brought its delicious food and service downtown Grass Valley. Do you like desserts? They got them. You like international style lunches? They got them. Christopher's Deli and Catering for parties, get-togethers, weddings, or whatever. Open 7 days a week. Bellstar Shop is a one-of-a-kind place you will find on the Ridge. Steaming hot coffee and a cool atmosphere with healthy food, organic desserts, and meals available. Belle and her smile will not be forgotten the first time you visit.
When it just sings so, there's little place right up on my face and the ain't no, hear a beat from